Hi, I'm Greg Pezza, and I'm just one member of a large group of LM faculty who are partaking in this year's CFF grant. Although the school has been utilizing the grant for a number of years and countless students and teachers have benefited from the technology in the classroom environment, this CFF year has been a special one as the students and staff have first been introduced to Macs. The sleek design and innovative programs have lent credence to what CFF actually stands for: Classrooms for the Future. Last year, a number of classrooms were equipped with access points, wireless internet, and PC laptop carts easily accessible to the students. This year, in addition to the PC carts, many more classrooms have been equipped with the wireless capabilities, and 2 Mac carts holding roughly 30 MacBooks were introduced. Although much of the business world remains PC-oriented, many have been making the move to Mac, especially in the creative industries. Therefore, having learning and instruction on both PCs and Macs better prepares students to be well-rounded in their world to come. You've heard enough from me. Let's hear from the staff and, more importantly, from the students on how CFF has affected the classroom environment.
I've used the Lenovo laptops in my third track World Studies class. We do a lot of writing on the word processing. We do a lot of web research, and it's convenient to have them in the class. So I'd say on average twice a week we're using the laptops in that capacity, research and the writing process. In terms of course utilization in my AP class, I put together a wiki page for my students to, we kind of use it as a blog to communicate with each other, to access other internet sites and tools. I don't think I've utilized that to its maximum this year. I know my wife has done a better job with her wiki space, but I did institute the space and I plan to build upon it for next year.
As a teacher of high school English, I've used CFF technology in a number of ways. I've been working primarily with Lenovo carts, and traditionally there are lots of things we can do in this particular setting that are helpful to the kids. The word processing is always fantastic. They can write essays, we have time to observe a lab. They can do peer editing in this room and get immediate feedback from myself and from their peers, so that works out really nicely. This year we've also used the CFF technologies to do creative projects. So, for example, we've used a Web 2.0 tool called Go Animate, and with one assignment, kids were given the choice to work in class on a Go Animate project, and to just have me in the room with them as a resource as they come to use this new technology, become familiar with new technologies. So it's really helpful to us in that regard. And I have noticed a change in kids as a result of it. They really enjoy the Go Animate. You'll see some of their projects there on display today. And they were really enthusiastic about the ability to have
well, I think CFF has helped in my classroom in many ways. Primarily, we've used the PC laptops. We've used them a great deal for word processing because students do a lot of writing in my classroom. We've also done various projects involving PowerPoint, some other kinds of new media types of projects that students have used the computers. And I've also had a class wiki where students post some of the writing that they do, and I think students definitely become more involved because of the technology. Different students use different aspects of the technology and like different aspects, and so having a wide range of these things is very helpful. One other thing from CFF that has been helpful for me is to try to think of ways to do more project-based learning, where students focus on completing a project in the classroom, and CFF definitely emphasizes that, but the technology has definitely been beneficial in my class.
This year for CFF I mostly used the MacBooks with my third track class. Those students have used iTunes, iMovie, and they also use GarageBand to make podcasts, video podcasts as well as audio podcasts. They were given chapters in the book, and they were picking out different sections of the chapters of the book, and they were actually making their own podcast based on that section. So they really got to have a personal feeling with that. I noticed a huge change in them from the beginning of the year, where we used more or less traditional teaching methods to using non-traditional methods, as in the with the GarageBand and whatnot, and having the kids do a little more individual work. So the kids have changed quite a bit, and they look forward to coming to class, versus before we're kind of reluctant to do so.
We've used the Macs, we've used the Lenovo's for PowerPoint presentations, And the other thing we use is Delicious, which is a site that allows us to keep bookmarks for the students so they can go and reference the material when they want. And one of the things we've done this year, or I've started to do this year and moving forward, is set up a lot of YouTube videos that are mini lessons. So the students are absent, they can look at those videos on their own, or if they just want a different perspective on how the material is taught. The students seem to enjoy using the laptops. They especially like doing the slideshow presentations. They got to be creative and do things that are not just straight drill them and kill them type of stuff.
The CFF that I use is the IBM, the laptops, and I use them in my classroom pretty regularly. I would say the examples that I've found most effective in the ways I use the IBMs is in creating wiki spaces that my students have used in class and actually at home. And particularly in my AP Government class, I created a wiki space that I used often and the students seem to get a lot out of. And in the World Studies class, we used Google Earth in class for an assignment that worked pretty well. I would say that the benefit for students is increased student engagement. Many of the students like using the technology in a variety of ways and got some students involved, particularly in discussions that maybe wouldn't have gotten involved in other ways through the wiki space. And I would say the way that CFF has altered my instructions is that it has made me think about ways that I could incorporate the use of technology and authentic instruction in my classroom on a regular basis.
This year in American Studies we've been using the Mac carts, and I've been using iMovie and podcasts, and the students created 2-minute videos on their Spotlight presentation topics that incorporated music, animation, scripts, and they came out really, really good. We have a couple of them that are spotlighted in the CFF video. And in my creative writing class, we also used GoAnimate, which is an animation software, and they used it to create stories and then use the software to animate them, make them a little bit more exciting. I definitely noticed a lot of interest in the students. They were very engaged, involved, and excited to show what they had made.
Hi, I am Joanne Fricker, and I am the CFF coach, and this year we have become a dual platform school. We now have Macs, and we had 2 days of out-of-box training with everyone attending. The major piece that we worked on was iWork and iLife, things like iMovie and iDVD and Pages and Numbers, and all of those are the Mac components to digital processing and digital literacy. We have been incorporating wikis throughout our curriculums, and our major focus in the CFF team meetings has been to communicate through the wiki. So we establish a central system of checking for updates and incorporating and embedding technology whenever we can. We also had an Adopt the Tool, so a Web 2.0 tool every month. A group was working on a different tool and sharing out those experiences the following month. So we've had a very productive year in CFF this year. Lenovo's and Macs are coexisting at Lower Moreland High School. Mac is winning right now.
Well, there you have it. Please feel free to walk around and explore the many different student-created projects from throughout the year.